Hello, and welcome to, I believe it's day 5 of 50 Days to Healing. Okay, today is a nice day for me because I love talking about spiritual stuff. And today you're really going to be delving a little bit deeper into. Oh, my brain is very fogged today. Into your spiritual well-being, I guess. Okay. I'm not going to edit this. So, spiritual well-being for me means a place where I can go and find solace, where I can relax, where I can really be myself. And I never really cared all that much about it until my sister passed away. And I was super confused about life. I didn't know what the purpose was. I had trouble waking up in the morning. I didn't see really the meaning in anything. And I would say that that was probably the darkest time that I went through in my life. I would even go as far as saying that had it gone a little bit darker, who knows where I would be right now. And so I remember on one of those terrible days, my mom called me because her and I were very, very much a support to one another, and my dad as well, but my mom a lot because we had always been very close. And my sister and my mom and I were always a very close trio. So losing her was very tough because it broke the trio, and my mom and I had to start relying very heavily on one another, and so we did. And on one of these days, I believe it was like a Friday, cold, rainy day, my mother called me and she said, "How are you doing?" And I just remember saying to her, I just feel like I need something deeper and more meaningful in my life. Like right now, I'm just waking up and I'm going with emotions, but I don't really want to do anything. And she said, well, maybe you need God. And at that time in my life, I was so angry at God because I felt like who would let someone that he loves go through this kind of pain? Who would allow that? What God would allow it? And so I said to my mom, I don't think that I need God. I think I need to connect with myself. And when I think about spiritualities, and by the way, this is not anything religious. I'm not telling you that you have to become Christian or Jewish or Buddhist or anything like that. It has nothing to do with an actual denomination of something, but it has more to do with what helps you connect. And I remember at that time, something just said to me, the most spiritual out of all of the religions would probably be Buddhism. And so I looked up Buddhist temples in my area in New York, and this Buddhist temple, Happy Buddha Temple, popped up. And it was about like a 20-minute drive from my home, and every Sunday for 4 hours, I would just go and sit there, and I would just be at one with myself. And it was the weirdest thing because when I first got there, I was so annoyed with everyone. Because I was like, how can people sit still? How can they be okay with their suffering? How can they accept it and just be? Because I was dying inside. Like I just remember like this burning sensation. Like I couldn't be still. And eventually it got to a point where the more I went, the more I got it. And it was weird. It was a matter of time. I had to trust that time was going to make me relax into it. And so what I particularly enjoyed about this temple was that no one asked me any questions. I told them, I said, my sister passed away. I'm trying to find the meaning. I'm trying to figure out what happens to your soul, like where do you go? And no one once asked me any details. all they did was sat there with me. And that was the most important thing at that point in my life, because I felt. I really felt like people cared. That no one was trying to make themselves feel better by looking at my pain. Because sometimes, when somebody passes away, you'll hear people say, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And it becomes this like sensational thing. But these people never did that. And although I don't consider myself Buddhist, because gosh, that takes a lot of discipline, I do always have this attraction to it. It made me feel like I was connected to humanity. And so I learned a lot from them, and I think that that's where I found my purpose, and where I realized I wanted to be there for others, the way in which they were there for me. And so that's my thing for today. So, what gives you purpose? What makes you feel connected to other people, or to a higher power, or even just to yourself? Thank you for joining me today.